Okay, I want to say something about what I'm going to be doing from here forward. I'm going to be copying a lot of the configuration files and settings from the old virtual machine to the new one. So the first thing I did was I copied the Apache sites available vboxsf.conf file. I'll show you what it looks like. I copied it, but I made some changes. Server name, small sandbox. Server alias with .zone instead of .dev. I should delete this line here. Okay, after that, I really didn't change anything. Okay. Okay, another file that I need to edit is ports.conf. Let's see what it looks like. cd ... sudo edit ports.conf. You can tell that this file configures Apache to listen on port 80 and port 443. We need to let this file also have some statements about listening on port 8080. It's kind of complicated about why we need to do that, because although HTTP requests on this machine can be made to port 80, there are some requests that are going to be labeled as 8080 because when the web server reads the request that's coming in from the outside, the URL says 8080. So I'll take care of that momentarily. I added the line listen 8080 and I wrote the file to disk. Okay, let's get out of this. Sudo a2n site vbox. Okay, and a2 disk site 000-default sudo a2n mod rewrite and vhost alias. Those are two Apache modules that we are enabling. I'm going to copy this, type sudo, and paste. The Apache server failed to restart because the document root for my project does not exist. I'll fix that later. Also, proxy path match caused another failure because I haven't installed the related modules for it. I'm not going to worry about this because I'm going to fix those later. And then Apache should be able to restart. I'm going to create the phperrors.log file. Sudo touch phperrors.log. Clear and list. Okay, where is it? Right here. Owned by root. Sudo chown www-data:/phperrors.log. Enter, clear list. Okay, so now it's owned by the person who should own it. I'm going to install some packages for PHP using this command. I'm going to install mcrypt, international, mbstring, and gd. And I put a -y also. That way I don't get prompted. Okay? So that went okay. I'll clear the screen. One of these packages for modules for PHP has to be enabled, and it's this one, mbstring. So I'm going to run this nmod command over here. Enter. I'm supposed to restart Apache after making changes to the configuration of PHP, but I know Apache's not going to start, so I'm not going to do it. Now I'm going to configure my SQL. There's some other configurations that I'm going to do later for my SQL, but I'm going to start off with these ones. So the first file I'm going to edit is mysql.cnf. That seems to be the main configuration file. So let me go to the bottom. That would be Control V. Yeah. And I'm going to put a comment in here. I'm going to call it custom. And I'm going to add some extra space here. It's going to load all the other configurations first, and then it's going to load what we're going to write over here. Okay, here I've added this section. These are configurations which I had mostly put in custom configurations and would be loaded with these statements up here. But now I plan on putting them over here, and in the future, if there's any more customization, I'll just also add it over here. Okay, so I'm going to write this out and exit and clear. Okay, sudo service mysql restart. Okay, my fingers are crossed and it worked. Okay, I'm looking at the log files here, and I see that for the error log, we can read it because our account is part of admin group. But the slow log does not have the admin group, so we can't read that one. Okay, so we need to fix that. Okay, this command should fix it. So I'm going to hit enter and then do a listing again, and it's fixed. Next, I'm going to be making modifications to the user accounts of MySQL. More specifically, the root or administrative account for MySQL. The change that I'm going to make is going to allow the root user to log in from any computer on the internet to their MySQL account on the machine. As a note to myself, I need to remember that this is not something I should have on production. The way that I have it on production is I can only log into the port on my server for MySQL and connect to MySQL as root from my house, not from my friend's house, not from the church, not from any other place. Okay? But for the development environment, we're going to allow root to log in from any IP address, and we're going to use the % to do that. Okay? And so now I'm going to show you how to do it for my development virtual machine. I'm going to log into the MySQL server using this command. As you can see, after issuing this command, the root user is configured to only be able to log in from localhost. This command over here will take care of the problem the way that I mentioned it would be taken care of by placing a % in place of this word localhost. Okay, so I'm going to hit enter. Okay, now I need to flush privileges. Flush privileges, semicolon. Okay, I'm going to clear the screen, and then I'm going to run this command with a semicolon at the end to see if the change happened. And there it is. Okay, and now I'm going to quit. Enter. I've logged back into MySQL, and I'm going to issue some commands to set up the database and user for the project. This first command creates the database. I'm going to hit enter. And this is the command to add the user and the user's password to MySQL. And this command will grant all privileges on the underdog database to the user underdog from any host. And now I'm going to flush the privileges. Here I ran this command to show that the MySQL user table has been updated.